Welcome back to Blue Collar Golf. As we progress on our way throughout the bag, I'm moving on from chipping to pitching. Today, I'm working on 30, 40, 50, and 60-yard pitch shots. I have a plethora of clubs here. I'm going to start with my 60, and I'm going to work my way down to my 8-iron to be versatile from these distances with any club that I really need.
Okay, so change of plans. As I interrupt my mad ramblings, the shot breakdown was entirely too long, so this video will be only the 30-yard practice, and the others will be along shortly.
Got a little tuggy with the first shot, but I have a can set up at the center of the green. I'm just playing my target to that, and ideally I'm just working from a 9 o'clock swing here through to the other side. The follow through is just as important as the take back. Got a little chunky on that one, but other than that, the 60's been pretty good, which this is a pretty comfortable shot for a 60-degree wedge. We've got a can strike, so we'll take that. So the 60's pretty comfortable from this distance. As we work our way up in loft, we can change our landing spot and just expect a little more release, especially right now since the greens are sanded, they're pretty firm, getting the course ready for the spring conditions. Again, a little tuggy with the first one, but it's still pretty good distance moving up to the 56. My main issue is getting my hip through early. That's what's causing the shot to come left. It's more so just waiting on the transition to make sure you're coming through the ball squarely. A little aggressive. The 56 is definitely running out a lot more. From 30 yards, I just basically have to get this a few feet onto the green. That hit the front of the green. It's going to release a little short, but it's a better shot than the last few. That's better. Stayed out right, but it's a good distance. Probably leaves about 6 feet. It's a little strong. That was a bad swing that wound up okay, except for its left. Now, ideally, all I'm trying to accomplish is how much mass do I have to transfer through to get each club to go 30 yards. And it gets less and less as the lofts go down. That was a terrible shot, but it's going to wind up okay. That one I didn't have much ground interaction, it was a little thin, so it ran on a little far. But these distances are important because the closer you can get from inside 100 yards, the more opportunities you're going to have at pars and birdies. So now let's move on to the 52. That was chunky. Worried too much about the run out on that kind of shot. But you just have to trust it. Your brain knows what to do as far as transferring mass. Yeah, I'm a little afraid of this 52, but that's why we practice. That's hot. That's typical. After a couple short ones, you're going to juice one past the hole. And don't be afraid when the loft is more to choke down on the club. Take some of the distance out of it. Oh, that was bad, but a good miss. That's a little better. That's hot. That's a quick transition. Gets the ball moving left. My hip was already through before the club even considered hitting the ball. So with the 52, that's pretty much what we're looking for. Right on the front of the green and releasing up to the hole. Oh, that's hot. Landed that one a little short, but it released all right. Gives you an uphill look to the middle of the green. Now as we move up to the pitching wedge, I'm looking to train versatility just so that I can have as many shots available to me as possible from all of these distances, because you never know what kind of obstacles you're going to run into on the course. That's going to be hot. Now that took a weird kick, but ideally just off the front of the green is where I want to land these, because with a pitching wedge I'm going to have a considerable amount of release. With 30 yards with a pitching wedge, it's not as much of a pitch shot as it is a chip shot. Where that's going to work out a lot better. Even the 52, you could play it more like a chip and run, especially whenever we move up to the 9 and 8 iron. It'll be extremely like a chip shot or a bump and run. Now that was good for distance, but the face was open, and it just kept it out to the right side. It was a bit of a bad swing, duffed to the ground. I dug the heel a little bit, so with a pitching wedge, don't be afraid to lift that up and get the heel a little less involved. That was very thin. I got it way too high, but a good miss. Your game's built on your good misses. Oh, there was a duff. Very hesitant from 30 yards with the pitching wedge, but all we're doing is trying to train versatility. Anytime I'd have this shot normally, straightforward, I'm going to use a 60 or a 56 in most scenarios. As we move further back to 40, 50, 60 yards, these clubs will come in more handy with the little bump and runs kind of pitches. So now that we're on to the 9 iron, we're going to play this very much like a bump and run. I'm going to have the toe up. I'm going to be choked down a little bit on the club, probably about 1.5 inches down from typical. Just want to land it short of the green and let it release up there. Oh, super hard. Made sure we got through that one. After a hot one, you're always going to have that short one. Your brain's trying to compensate. You just got to trust your distances. Yeah, now that's a lot better. Still a little far, but like I said, this isn't typically something I would use with a 9 iron. I was a little hesitant. It worked out all right, but I was a little hesitant on where I was taking the club. And that questioning, that hesitation, it's always going to lead to a bad shot. But hopefully, not a terrible one where you just duff it right in front of yourself. plinko off the number of balls that are up there, but that was a pretty good shot for the 9-iron. Again, I was hesitant. Balls are very much getting in the way now, but that was a better strike than we've been getting. Another ball gets directly in the way. That's not bad. A little past, a little hot, but it gives you a look at a one putt. Kind of stopped my follow through on that one. Follow through is just as important as the backswing. Now I guarantee you if I was trying to hit those balls, I wouldn't be hitting them. Now with an 8-iron, that came off really nice. Unfortunately, we don't get to see where it went because a ball got in the way. Now that wound up really good distance. Chunked that one, but it's running up nicely. Like I said, this isn't typically a club that you would use for a shot like this, but you never know if you're going to be under a tree, having to skip something up, keeping it low. So it's good to be versatile. Now that's another fantastic miss. I got a little up on the shot and caught it out of the toe, but it ran up right next to the can. I got afraid of that one and duffed it. Those duffs are mostly coming from not transitioning the weight. I try and keep my weight mostly on my left side with pitches, bumps, and runs. Unfortunately, that weight tends to have a habit of getting back on the right foot. Found another golf ball, but I think that one would have been decent. Came off a little low, a little hot, but it had a nice skip to it. Yeah, that's another one that was terrible. Just kind of pulled down on it. Don't need to be steep on these kind of shots. You want to let the club's loft do its job. Yeah, another one we just kind of pulled through.
All right, everyone. Thanks for coming along for this first yardage as I journey back from my surgery. Until next time, keep grinding on your short game.
That's much better. Still a little hot, but the contact was better. Now the last one was good for distance, so we'll clean up that mess and move back to 40 yards.